When we're asked to find the trig functions of quadrantal angles, such as these, angles that appear at the 4 quadrants of our unit circle, or our graph, we can use our unit circle to do that. I've gone ahead and already written down the coordinates of those 4 points on the unit circle. It would just be, same as any coordinates. Go over 1 and up 0 would be right there. Go over 0 and down 1 would be right there, and so forth. Those coordinates actually correspond to sines and cosines of the angles at specific points. So, for example, let's find the 6 trig functions for 3 pi over 2. Well, I recognize that 3 pi over 2 is 270 degrees, or this angle down here. So I'm going to be using the coordinates 0, -1 to help me find this. The x coordinate always tells you the cosine of the angle down there. Or the angle. The y coordinate always tells you the sine of that angle. So the sine of 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2, is just -1. The cosine of 3 pi over 2 is just 0. And then to find the tangent, I'm going to remember this fact I have down at the bottom. To find the tangent, simply do sine divided by cosine. That's one of our identities. So if I do this, sine divided by cosine, I get -1 divided by 0. Well, we can't divide by 0, so I just say the tangent there is undefined, or I like to just do UND. Okay, let's go ahead and actually find the sine, cosine, and tangent for 180, and then we'll come back and do the reciprocals over here in a second. So let's again use our unit circle to find the sine and cosine. So 180 degrees is halfway around the circle, so that's going to put me right over here. So I'll be using these coordinates, -1, 0. And once again, the x coordinate is the sine, the y coordinate, or I'm sorry, the x coordinate is the cosine, the y coordinate is the sine. So the sine of 180 degrees is 0. The cosine of 180 degrees is -1. And to find tangent, we remember that that's just sine divided by cosine. Well, 0 divided by -1 is just 0. Okay, so there's my sine, cosine, and tangent filled out. Let's go back and then do our reciprocals. All I have to do is flip these numbers around. If I take -1, we'll start at the top, and write it like this, -1 over 1, and take its reciprocal, well, it stays -1. -1 and 1 are their own reciprocals, so I'll just get those filled out right away. And then remember, these are lined up, so sine is the reciprocal of cosecant, and cosine is the reciprocal of secant, and so on. The reciprocal of 0, be careful. 0, if I write it like this, if I take the reciprocal and flip it, I get 1 over 0. And remember, we can't divide by 0, so the secant is undefined. Think of 0 and undefined sort of as being reciprocals of each other. And based on that fact, if the tangent is undefined, then the cotangent must be 0. And then we'll just finish up our chart down here. So you'll see there's not many answers we're going to get for these. The reciprocal of 0 is undefined for my cosecant of 180, and once again, my reciprocal of 0 is still undefined for the cotangent. So there we go. There's our 6 trig functions for these quadrantal angles using our unit circle. Of course, I could use my calculator to double check any of these, but there we go. Without even touching a calculator, I've got my 6 trig functions.